This is our official start. So, a warm welcome to everyone attending our Thursday Travels to Country offices. Today, we are visiting Mexico, and we are very, very happy to have our champion, Judith Schneider, with us today to share with us all about Mexico. And many of you have told us how enjoyable and informative Thursday travels are because our discussions actually set in a way support the bank's decentralization agenda because it's an opportunity for you to learn about life in different country offices and to ask questions to the chapter members prior to their move. This is the inside track that you will never get when you Google. What Judith will tell you today, you will not find on Google. And as usual, what I will ask you to do is it's a discussion. So if you have a question, please unmute and ask your question. Or if you prefer, put it in the chat. I will read it out and we will have a lively and helpful discussion from that. So I will now hand over to Judith to introduce herself and also to tell us what life is like for WBG families in Mexico. Judith, over to you.
Hi, good morning to all. Here is 8:19. We are an hour ahead of you. So we are Peruvian. We are a family of 5. Me, my husband, and 3 children. Joseph, he's 22. He started the university here, and he's finishing the university here probably in 1 more year. Jennifer, my second daughter, just turned out to be 20 on Monday. So she's 20 and she's studying in Canada. She just left to Toronto. With the COVID, she has to do the quarantine for 2 weeks. Now she's in her dorm. And Jonathan, my youngest one, he's 16. He's going to turn 17 next month. Our language is Spanish, so it helps us adjusting to the country. Also, the slang is completely different. So at first, when I went to buy supplies for the grocery stuff or for the school stuff, they didn't understand what I was telling them. And I said, oh, we all speak Spanish, how come, no? So I have divided my presentation in 10 subjects. I'm going to explain and I'm going to let time to ask me questions. Every two topics, explain questions. 2 topics, questions. The first one is looking for a new home, no? As you probably know, Mexico is one of the largest, Mexico City, the capital, no? It's one of the largest and most densely populated cities in the world. It has an altitude of 2,300 square meters approximately. It's like 7,400 feet square, something like that. I did the calculation for you because we use meters and you use feet. The Mexico City metropolitan area is very dense populated. It has around 22 million people. It has a lot of traffic. Therefore, location is of the utmost importance. So when looking for a place to live, you have to look that the place you choose is nearby your husband's office or your spouse's office, no? If you're the one that works, or your children's schools. There are many schools, including international schools, from where you can choose. You have to apply in advance to guarantee a place because it's full. This is the first subject. You have questions, or I move to, because I have like 10 or 12 subjects that I'm going to touch. You want to go to continue, or there is a question about this subject in particular?
Is there any questions from the audience?
In terms of housing, if I can just ask, how easy was it to find a place to locate in terms of location of the schools or the office, and
Well,
what you were looking for?
I was looking for location near schools, not the office, because my husband has to go one way and one way back. So he can leave 6 in the morning, he can arrive 7:30, and then at night. In the morning, probably the traffic is less, so maybe 45 minutes or 40 minutes. And at night, he can return 8 p.m., 9 p.m. because he works a lot. So I decided he has to move only 2 times, whereas myself, and he travels a lot all over the world. Whereas myself, with 3 children at this time, I had to move with them or help them moving, and I chose schools. The university of my son is far away, so he also has to do the commuting as my husband, no? Like 1 hour, 15 minutes. In the morning, 45 minutes because he used the Supervia. But this is a huge city, huge, huge, huge. But my first apartment that we rented was nearby the school. And then I moved to another apartment after 3 years that we are living now, no? But close to the previous one. But first for me was school because, they have to do homework with the other children, run here and there. And for me was tough and to move, no?
So you live, in terms of living, is mainly apartment. It's not like a house with a backyard.
I'm going to explain that in security afterwards.
Okay.
But I can give you some insight right now. So to answer your question is, I come from Peru. Peru is also dangerous. Not as Mexico City, to be honest. Lima is not as dangerous as Mexico City. But so I say, I'm not going to live in a house. No way. And also they give us security advice that you cannot live in the house with doors to the street. So you have to live inside a condo with guards and everything. So I said, no way. I want two security down the guards of the condominium, then security down the building and security like closed doors. Because I come from Peru, so I know what is security stuff, no? I am a master here. So, well, that's well, but I'm going to explain housing everything later.
Yeah. So, could we just, you brought up this security. I know you will touch in depth, but can we touch about it now? Because it's sparked curiosity. You say that, it's not as dangerous as Peru. What sorts of dangers will WBG families, what do we have to be prepared for? Say, if we are told tomorrow we are going to Mexico City.
Look, once you have arrived in Mexico, my recommendation would be attending the Security and Family Safety Induction organized by the UNDSS agency, no? This helped me. Everybody from my house went there, my 3 children, me, and my husband, in different times, because this helped me to know the risk you may be exposed to and or how to act when faced with possible security issues, both inside and outside our houses, no? After for example, one thing they mentioned us upon arrival is to never take taxis from the street. Never, ever. Like 95% of the kidnaps that they take you, and sometimes they return you, but sometimes they never, is from taxis taken from the street. So they tell us, only take taxis from secure companies. They said it's called taxi de sitio in Spanish, or Uber. For example, they also mentioned that there are some safety issues regarding violence and delinquency that you have to be aware of. So they mention what streets, what areas not to go, where to go. And also they mentioned that Mexico City is a seismic zone, no? there are a lot of earthquakes here. So you should look into a house building where it is appropriate to live, that has been tested, no, for earthquakes and everything, no? Because I had some people I met here that because of the earthquake that was like 2-3 years ago, the house went down, the building completely in some areas. But I am not a security expert, so don't trust my word. This is only my experience. You should look into the safety person security issues because that would be the person that would advise you, no? I am not an expert, but if you want to travel, you have to tell them where do you want to go, if it's appropriate to go, because there are also a lot of cartels of the drugs here in Mexico in some areas. So, for example, Guadalajara, it was safe. No, not Guadalajara, Guanajuato is an area there. It was super safe in January, and now they have advised us not to go, no? I wouldn't go because of the COVID, but now with the COVID, I'm going to explain everything about the COVID here in Mexico.
Okay, so can I just add something here? For all of you on the call, keep in mind that the bank provides for staff a medical briefing and a security briefing for all the locations. And those briefings, thanks to WBFN years ago, are open to spouse. We do encourage you to join your spouse for those briefing, the security briefing and the medical briefing. Take it seriously. It's always a lot of good information.
Exactly. So
back to housing. Back to housing. You are going to give us the details.
No. Housing, I'm done. I'm going to employment opportunity for spouses. If you want to work here, I am following the lead that you gave me. So following for the dependents.
Well done, Judith. Yvonne, just stay quiet. Let Judith walk the show.
No. I want
Go ahead, Judith.
No, if not,
you are doing a tremendous job. Go ahead.
Talk is boring. Please interrupt me all the time. For the dependents of staff members who wish to work, there is an instruction memo for the Foreign Ministry to the Immigration Office. And there are sites regarding work permits, but from the experience I have seen, I'm not working here, but for the experience I have seen with the other spouses, it's super hard to work here for spouses, to be honest. You have to go there, there's a lot of bureaucracy, you lose your diplomatic status, so it's, they try to work, for example, I'm going to explain later, but I belong to two associations here. One is ACD, this is the Associations for Spouses of Diplomats, and the other is the United Nations Spouses Organization. And that's the word I belong, I work, I've been in the directive, and I help there a lot with activities and everything, and I try to welcome as soon as families from the World Bank come, I put them in touch of this organization, I introduce them, and I do want to, and there's a lot of things that we do, and I'm going to explain later, but the thing is that they have tried to work, impossible. Maybe from the United Nations, one or two had luck to work because they were already Mexican or they have, I don't know what, but it's not easy. It's not easy, not from my experience. Maybe some other people would have. But I have all the links where you can tramit from the Circular de la Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores, where could you find more information regarding work permits and everything, but it's a long process. No, it's my health issues. Mexico, haha. It is not recommended to drink the water from the tap in Mexico, never ever, no? You have to either drink purified water. Another option that we did is we bought a water filter for our tap. We have to wash the fruit and vegetables well, no? I bought like liquids, special and I put the fruit and the vegetables like 1-2 minutes with this liquid, like has antibiotics, not antibiotics, but I don't know what. It cleans everything, and then I clean again. I had a disease, like last year, I started feeling very bad from my stomach. I thought I was dying. So I didn't know what was going on. I went to several gastroenterologists, doctors here in Mexico City. I said, I'm dying. What my stomach was, and they didn't understand what was going on. So in December, January, I went for the holidays with my family in Peru, and my family saw me and they took me to in Peru, and he said, you picked Mexican amoebas, yay! And so he gave me antibiotics for 3 months, Mexican amoebas. And I am very careful. I never drink water from the tap. When I go out to restaurants, I used like the bottles of water. I washed everything, but I have been invited to places. Maybe in the restaurant I ate something and it was not. Well, I got amoebas and it took me like 3 months and a half antibiotic to get rid of them. So until April or May, I was in antibiotics, the Mexican amoebas. So, well, Peru is not that clean too, but my stomach is adjusted to those kind of infectious diseases from Peru, but I said from Peru, nothing is going to happen to me, but it did. So, well, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. What do you eat? Where do you eat? I was super careful and it happened to me, no? And to finish with health issues, pollution. Pollution can be very heavy in Mexico City. And so with some people that come, it has effects like in the eyes, in the lips, in the lungs, depends on age and your health issues. Some people use air filters in their houses. I don't use them. There are people that if they suffer from, I don't know, some lung problem or something, they have to check for air quality in their area, and there are several applications, Aire Mexico, air bubbles, breathometer, that they can check the air to know when it's safe, when it's not safe to go. And well, for me, thanks God, this was not an issue, even though the eyes were itchy at first. And also the altitude, 2,300 meters, is not that high, but Lima is level of the sea, 0 meters, no? So it was from, so questions, please, because I have more subjects, but questions up to here. Listening, questions.
Yeah, I have questions. One question. So you said earlier work permits were hard to get. So do most of the World Bank spouses not work then? So the group that you know from our members, most of them are not working. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay. So what is fun to do then?
Yes.
Well, what
do
would you say was if you got kids?
Well, first, I belong to the 2 associations I already explained, and with that, lots of work, because lots of activities. Mexico City is amazing because it has a wide offer of activities to offer to you. So if you exploit them, you are very happy here. There's infinite number of tourist attractions, from museums, handicraft shops, typical food. And so there are several places you can go to visit: museums, handicraft markets, the central square called Zócalo, Fine Arts Museum, Anthropology Museum. There's even a castle, because the French lived here, the king and the queen. So we have a castle, the Chapultepec Castle, with National History Museum. There are several places, Coyoacán, San Ángel, Xochimilco. So we organize visits, but I am finishing my second master here also in Mexico City. Well, I am an economist. I studied in Peru, I did an MBA, my Master of Business Administration in Pittsburgh, in the Joseph M. Katz Graduate School of Business. I worked. And now I'm doing a master's in education because my children are grown up now. So I want to work in education. So I'm doing my thesis right now, and I have a lot of work to do. The master is Direction on Leadership in Innovative Educational Institutions. I'm finishing now. I have 9.85 average out of 10 so far. So I'm very applied student. I am doing my best. This plus the house, organizing, the children, my husband, and the activities, I am like,
I had just a question in terms of travel. So Mexico City is quite congested. Well, I visited a couple of years ago. I loved it. Absolutely loved the city, the people, the food, everything about it. But of course, I was a tourist. In terms of being there, living there, do you have to have a driver? Do you drive yourself, your children? How do they travel and move around?
I drive myself. My husband drives himself. Well, they have a chauffeur in the bank, but we love to drive. I come from Peru, so if I can drive in Peru, I can drive anywhere in the world. They are afraid of me. I don't have to be afraid of them. Thanks God, nothing happened so far. My oldest son drives. My daughter has her permit, but she went to Canada. She went 1 year ago because of the COVID. She came back. Now she flew again there to Canada, to Toronto, but she also drove here. The youngest cannot drive here because he's a foreigner. So if you can drive when you're 16 years old here, but if you're a Mexican, he's Peruvian and he's 16, so he cannot drive until he's 18. But I don't mind because in Peru we drive since we are 18 years old, not before. We don't have permit to drive before. So I don't care, but we all drive here. And for me, it's not a problem at all. But for many of my friends, they cannot drive here. No way, no. But I don't know. For me, that was not a problem at all.
So they can't drive because they're afraid of the traffic, or
No,
they can't drive?
No, they can drive. They cannot drive because he's 16 years old. All of my children drive, but he has to be 18 years old in order to drive. He's 16, he cannot drive. He has not a license. I cannot hear you, sorry.
We have a question. Is it easy to find international food in supermarkets?
Yes. Here, Mexico City has impressed me because it has the best of the best and it has the worst of the worst. So it's like the richest people ever and the poorest people. No, it has impressed me because that's something that I didn't see in Peru. That's those difference. In Peru, they are very poor people and very rich people, but the difference is not as, for me, you have every international food you want. It's like being in, I don't know, in Washington, you have every sort of food, and it's amazing, the food here. Well, I can say that Peruvian food, the gastronomy in Peru is wonderful. I really recommend it. I think it's one of the top of the world, but Mexico too. Mexico is high gastronomy, it's very, very good. It has lots of calories, the food here, because they have like tacos and tortillas, and they are extraordinary. So when I came, I gained some weight, and I try to do exercise, everything. It's hard for me to lose the weight I gained, but it's not that bad. I gained like 3 kilos. I can survive. I can, but the food was good. It's very good here too. It's very good.
Can I ask if we have on the call people original from Mexico? I'm not sure. I don't remember all your nationalities, but it would be nice if you are from Mexico and you are on the call for you also to give your point of view, a few details. It's always enriching the conversation, but I don't know if it's the case, so that's why I'm just asking. And about the calories you did, I'm sorry, but can we please immediately change the subject? I hate this conversation, okay?
Okay, so I changed to Loana, Peru, yay! Loana mentioned that she's from Peru. I don't know you, but hi, Loana, let me see you. I cannot see you.
Where is my here?
Okay, another time we do something on Peru, and you will jump into it again, Judith.
Okay,
And Joanna.
okay. So I
Everybody.
continue. It's yes, I'm going to take to tell about travel. Hi, Paola Pisano, Mexico. Yay, I love Mexico. Special holiday in Mexico. The Day of the Dead is a Mexican holiday celebrated throughout Mexico. In particular, the central and south regions, and by people of Mexican heritage elsewhere, no? The multi-day holiday involves family and friends gathering to pray for and remember friends and family members who have died and helping support their spiritual journey. In Mexican culture, death is viewed as a natural part of the human cycle. Mexicans view it not as a day of sadness, but as a day of celebration. Because their loved one awakes and celebrates with them. So I really suggest you to watch the movie Coco, C-O-C-O. It's one of the most beautiful movies ever. And you can learn a lot about Mexican traditions there. It's amazing, I cried. It's one of the best movies I have seen in the last 2-3 years, I don't recall. So, then I have Mexico with children. There's a lot to offer to children. For example, there are attractions like Museo for the kids, Kidzania, Aquario in Bursa, Fishes, Six Flags, Granja de las Américas, African Safari, where there's a lot and a lot of restaurants with children's facility for children, Mexico is great. So, association and expats clubs. I already mentioned that I belong to the Mexican Diplomat Association. We organize social, cultural, and charity activities. I was the secretary, everything for free, no, I don't charge. It was all, and it helped me to work with all the, like my work for the champions of the World Bank, no? I like match all the associations I belong. Also Association for Spouses from the United Nations, I belong there. Now I am in the directive, guiding all the newcomers who organize some events and has a chat, and you can get information of lots of things there, no? That what's going on, no? We help each other a lot. Also for other nationalities, for example, for French speakers, I also speak French, but not that good, but I used to speak very good. I forgot, but Mexico Aquel organizes a lot of cultural and charity activities. So there's a lot going on here, so you're not going to get bored. It depends on your attitude, I think, because everything is about attitude. If you come positive, that I'm going to do a lot, that it's going to be a great experience, you're going to meet a lot of people, you're going to take advantage of it, and you're going to see everything and do everything, it's going to, I think it doesn't only come from Mexico. I think all over the world, you are going to do a lot. But if you come, I miss my family, I'm sad, I don't like it here, I cannot leave this, I cannot go there, I cannot drive. No, you have to look into a positive attitude. But I do everything. I drive, I move, I go, and nothing is going to happen to me. Thanks God. I'm going to pray a lot. So Mexico in COVID-19, and then I'm going to put like travel in Mexico. Somebody asked for travel in Mexico. But but I'm going to touch travel in Mexico because we're in COVID-19 now. You cannot travel a lot, but I'm going to explain. COVID-19 risk in Mexico is high at the moment, as you all know. If you get sick in Mexico and need medical care, resources may be limited, as you all know. We as a family are doing a non-mandatory self-isolation in our home. My husband is working because the World Bank is making him work from home. But me and the children are studying, one the university, one the school from our home because the schools and university are closed. But we are doing a non-mandatory self-isolation. We don't go to restaurants. I only go to the park and walk. I do delivery of all my food and supplies. I washed everything I have everything to put like, I don't know, all the things special for COVID. When I buy groceries, I leave them like some hours. When I buy through Amazon, I leave them until next day. I don't touch anything, and I put all the sprays and everything. I don't, if we go out to the park, when we come, you cannot enter with the shoes. You have to wash them, put the spray, change the clothes, take a shower. I am a little bit exaggerated. Over-exaggerated maybe, but I am a little bit scared because I don't know how is the medical care here. Sometimes they say that there is space in the hospitals, even private ones. Sometimes they say there's none. So why to take, I know it's hard, but I am here, I live in an apartment, so I don't have like, but I try to go to parks, and these past weeks I have been going out a little bit more. Maybe to Starbucks, I buy a coffee, I drink it in my car. I even don't drink it in the Starbucks, but because there are many people there and I am scared. Even though one is with COVID, everybody's going to go, and I go with the mask, with the other mask and everything, no? So we as a family, maybe exaggerated Peruvian family living in Mexico City, we try to avoid close contact with everybody, no? Away from anyone who is not from our household. We also wear a mask to keep our nose and mouth covered when in public setting, and glasses or something to protect our eyes. Even though I only need glasses to read, to be honest, to see the screen, I wear always masks, glasses, or also a shield. Sometimes I don't wear a shield, no? So
schools, well, the bank office is closed. What about school and university?
Closed. Everything
All
is closed.
Okay.
Yes. So here the government has put a traffic light, including red, orange, yellow, and green. This is the traffic light that the government has put into place in Mexico. And the red, only essential activities are allowed. Essential activities is what I do, include the provision of medical services and supplies, grocery delivery services, operation of grocery stores, restaurant delivery, and carry out services, assurance of public safety, maintenance of fundamental economic functions and government social programs, work in critical infrastructure, construction, manufacturing, or of transportation equipment. But this situation is changing by the day. And for example, it's changing from red to orange in some states, and from orange to yellow in some states. So in Mexico in general, I think Mexico City now and the state of Mexico where I live is in orange. So it's red, orange, yellow, and green. So the situation changes by the day. Sometimes we are orange, then we are red again. Then we are orange, then we have not been yellow yet. So we are not yellow or green. When it's green, schools and workplaces and universities are going to be open, but now it's closed because we are in orange. So since we are in orange, the hotels have open until 30% capacity, some states 50% capacity, the ones that are yellow, and also restaurants, but I don't go. I don't go, not now. But the situation changes by the day, and even though restaurants may be open, precautions have to be taken. I'm not a security expert at all, so so it is highly recommended, my advice. So you get in touch with the security officials from your agency, the World Bank, the IFC, regarding safety precautions in general and COVID in particular, because I have no clue. My family, we don't go out. Our friends invite us, we don't go. So we are a little bit more extreme. Now we are a lot of, sometimes we have been stuck here for 6 months, so it's a lot, no? So sometimes I need to go out, you know what I mean? Or if not, I'm going to kill somebody, but day by day, no, we are trying our best, and maybe these few weeks I have been relaxed a little bit with going out to Starbucks, bring, like I told you, no, my coffee in the car. For example, under orange, hotels, restaurants, barber shops, open air parks, gyms are limited to 50% capacity, no? Markets and supermarkets, 75% capacity. Shopping malls have been open. For example, I had struggles with my computer. So I could, it was not working, the camera and the voice. So I was working for my master's with that computer that was not working properly. So I went to Best Buy, to the mall, and I bought but it was like the first time I went to the mall, like the past week for 6 months, no? I was like covered like a clown, but with my child, the youngest that accompanied me, but I'm not going there anymore, no, because there were a lot of people and I was afraid. So for example, now shopping malls, churches, cinemas, theaters, museums, and cultural events will be limited to 25% capacity. This is orange. Well, yellow and green, I don't know, because we are not in yellow, we are in orange. So if you were to decide traveling inside Mexico, my advice would be highly recommended to contact your security official, not only because of COVID, because some regions of Mexico have severe security issues, and others are categorized as red or orange for COVID. You have to, if it is red, I wouldn't advise you to go. If it is orange, you can go with some. If it is yellow, I would say.
In ordinary times outside of COVID, how easy is the question here? How easy is it to get to the beach?
Beautiful, beautiful. Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Riviera Maya is one of the most beautiful beaches I have ever seen in my life. Beautiful, beautiful, easy. You take a plane, in 2 hours you are there. And you have from Mexico City, and it's the most wonderful time of the year. You know, my silver anniversary wedding silver anniversary is going to be October the 7th. And I always plan ahead of time, and I wanted 25 years married to my husband. We have to celebrate, no? And we were planning to go to Cancun, and I bought everything. So I have everything there. I don't know if we are going or not, to be honest. But I'm thinking of wearing like a mask, like an astronaut, to go to the airplane, because when my daughter went to Canada, the security in the airport was extraordinary. They measured the temperature, they made you answer lots of safety, health insurance, health issues. I don't know. So maybe we go to ours, and we go to a hotel that is in 50% capacity, and we only like wear masks. We go to the restaurant, or we ask, and we like go. We are like looking if we are going or not going, to be honest. I'm a little bit afraid, but look, Mexico is a beautiful country. There are lots of places to visit. I think a lifetime wouldn't allow you to visit everything Mexico has to offer. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But now, because of COVID, everything has changed, no?
If we don't have COVID and you lived in Mexico City, what can you do very quickly at the weekend? If you don't, day trips, I assume you cannot get to the coast without flying because it's a big country.
Well, you have, well, there are lots of pueblo mágicos called magical towns nearby Mexico City, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. There are lots. And everybody, each of that magical towns has lots of things to offer. One is more beautiful than the other. I can mention, so in hour and a half, 2 hours, for example, there's Xochimilco, Pineras, they're like little boats, like going into the river. There's also some Aztec, Mexican, Maya archaeological site called Teotihuacan. It's an hour and a half from Mexico City, or an hour. I wrote it down somewhere, but I don't recall. There are lots of things to do, lots. And also the beach of Acapulco is like 5 hour, like driving a car from Mexico City, 4 hour and a half, depends on the speed, between 4 hours and a half and 5 hours. But to be honest, we wanted to go for a weekend to Acapulco, and the security staff allow us not to go, please. Not only because of COVID. At that moment, I think they were on orange, but I was going to go to a sanitized house, an Airbnb, an apartment, sanitized apartment there in Acapulco, but because of the security issues, because of the drugs or cart or something, they told us not to go, so we didn't go. But Acapulco is under, for example, Cuernavaca is nearby. Taxco is another magical town that has silver. No, Mexico, there in the weekends, every weekend you can go to other place, and there are like also like those waters that are heat, thermal waters. I cannot hear you, sorry.
Hot springs, hot springs.
Hot springs also nearby. I don't recall the name. I think it's, well, there are many places to go. San Miguel de Allende, Guanajuato, León, Guadalajara, Cuernavaca. No, and also not only the beaches of Cancun, the Gulf of Mexico, but also in the Pacific. This is like the Atlantic side, but in the Pacific, Huatulco, Acapulco, Ixtapas, Iguatanejo, Manzanillo, Puerto Vallarta, Los Cabos. We went to Los Cabos like 2 years ago with some Mexican family, and we swam with sharks. But those sharks don't eat people. They only eat vegetables. But we had this experience. Yes, but no, Mexico is beautiful, but you have to take care of yourself, no? I come from Peru. This is an advantage because in Peru, I have experienced delinquency. It's like Peru, the capital Lima, Peru is like a small Mexico, something like that. So the delinquency I experienced in Peru is the same, or well, here have drugs and cartels and things, but if they advise you not to go to Acapulco, we don't go, even though we rented Airbnb. And we told them, but it took a while to answer us because they were checking, and they said, no, don't go. Maybe it's safe to go by plane, but not by car, because and some areas you should avoid. So you have to ask us, no? And now with the COVID, it's a little bit. Well, this is my experience. Everybody has their own experience. I'm talking about, no?
So we have some questions here also about neighborhoods. Apart from security, there was a question about, if I'm relocating to Mexico City, how do I deal with this? The real estate agent, find a house, apart from security, which we have covered comprehensively. And then another question here about specific activities for kids. I assume here it's younger kids,
Well, First, when you come to Mexico, you are assigned as a person that helps you with the relocation, no? And they help you also with your kids' school and everything. And you also are going to visit your spouse office to see where he or she is going to work. So they have to advise you in the proper areas, and they know exactly what areas are safe or not. And if you are looking into a specific area, you should ask your security staff, no? Mexico City is huge. So there's a lot of areas. I know some, but I don't know all of them. For example, when some people come and I am the champion in Mexico and they ask me, I would tell you, to be honest, here, that they have told you, I know. This I have never been. I have no idea. So you have to ask security for that. This is one part of the question. The other part of the question, activities for children. Looks, there are a lot of like amusement parks, like for example Six Flags. There was one amusement park in Chapultepec that it has been closed, and I think Six Flags has bought it. So they are supposedly going to do it new and to do it better, no? And also there's an African safari in Puebla. Puebla is another magic town close by, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, depends on the traffic. If you want to see all the magic towns, you put magic towns in Mexico City, and boom, you have like 25, 30, 50, I don't know, it's 100. Many, and they advise you, no? And you see, I want to go there, ask security first, no? I wouldn't do anything without asking security. That's my advice. And what else to do with children? Well, there's an aquarium. There's an aquarium here in Mexico City, this Kidsania. I don't have little children, so I wouldn't know, to be honest. You have to ask a person with little children, but for the person that asked me that question, I can connect you in 1 second to all my friends, or in United Nations group, or in the diplomats, and especially United Nations is the one that helps you with all these questions, and they are going to give you not one, but 200 activities to do with kids, and there are plenty. I have no idea. My children are grown up. They don't want to be with me, so I have no idea, to be honest. I would, but there's a lot to know. For example, we went once with the United Nations to a place where there were horses and their children were in the horses, and beautiful. There are many places. Another thing you can do is go to Google, do children stuff with Mexico, and they are going to be 100. And you said, I want to go there, contact security. Can I go there? What road should I take? It is safe or not safe going through that road? And they said, yes, it's safe. You go.
Can I ask a cultural question now? I know you're from Peru. So at this point, I would like to invite, I think it's Paula, who is Mexican, to talk about a little bit before we finish on culture. So what is the top no, and what is something you can do to really build relationship with Mexicans? So if you go first, and then maybe Paula can add as a Mexican, because you can see two sides.
Okay. For me, I consider Mexican people to be very nice, very helpful, very open. Well, I have the language that helps, no? I speak Spanish, because they sometimes compliment me for my good Spanish, and I laugh and I said, my Spanish is my mother tongue. No, but they compliment. I find that Mexican people are very alike Peruvian people. It's like I went from a small small country to a big country, but the customs are vary. For example, everything that Mexico has for the death, we don't have in Peru. But when I go to the artisan and the handicraft markets, sometimes some things are so similar that I love, no? Even the handicraft things are the same, but some others are completely different because all the Mexicans are wonderful people. I think they are wonderful. I don't know what to add, but they are great people.
We have a message from Paula. I think you need to unmute, Paula. Just unmute yourself. But Mexicans love to talk and learn about people from other countries. So just talking with Mexicans, preferably with tacos. So looks like we all will have a weight problem. We will talk and we will eat. Paula, can you unmute? Can we hear you?
It's Paula. I cannot.
Yeah.
I think she cannot talk. I cannot read everything, but I think she put that she cannot talk right now.
Ah, she can't. Okay. So anyway, that's what she says, that Mexicans love to talk. I have a question. If you don't speak Spanish like me and you relocate to Mexico City, what will I do? I mean, of course I will learn Spanish when I get there, but say if I arrive not speaking Spanish, what will happen to me?
Look, nothing is going to happen to me in the two associations I have. In the United Nations Association, mostly people speak Spanish fluently, all of them. But in the ACD, nobody speaks Spanish, only the Latin American people or, well, or people from Spain, maybe. Well, some people speak Spanish, the majority does not. And for example, I have a great friend that she's from Scotland and she didn't speak a word of Spanish and she lived here 4 years and she never learned Spanish. She didn't want to learn Spanish. She didn't care. She has two little children, beautiful children. And she never learned Spanish and she had a beautiful time here. But it was, so to communicate, not a problem. Mostly people here in Mexico, I think, understand English, a lot of people. So if you go to a grocery, you can, it's not a problem. I think if you learn like basic words in Spanish, I think you would be completely fine. She never had any intention of learning Spanish. 4 years here, not a word. And she had a great time here. And she joined a lot of activities of the ACD from the Diplomat Association. And she had a great time here. So you don't have the majority of the people from the ACD don't speak Spanish at all, and they don't have any problems. She put the children into an American school, of course, no, and there's no problem at all.
Talking just two more thoughts. One about the choice of school, and the other one, how do you manage household help?
Okay. First, I'm going, I think Loana said, yes, Loana, I'm going to give you, where can I write my email? I have lots of buttons and I don't know, close participant chat. I'm going to write my email. So if anybody have more questions or you want to contact me in private, you can do after the meeting and we can become friends. I would appreciate that and I would love that, okay? So I'm going to chat first. I'm going to put my my two things, I don't know how to write.
Maybe Kat, you can put in the email so that you this
Yeah, don't worry, Judith. I will put it in the chat box. Don't worry.
Yes, because I cannot do it. I don't know why, but I cannot do it. Put it my chat for everybody, my email, and then I give you my phone and everything. Yeah, and that was the first thing. And the second thing, can you repeat me the question, please?
And to
Sorry.
ask you about household help, you know,
I have
the
help.
house.
To be honest, I have in Peru, I always have help since I was born. In Peru is like Mexico, I told you about it. So I have never lived in my entire life without help. To be honest, I don't cook. I have never cooked. I know basic cook. I can survive out of chicken, or I don't do anything. I don't like to cook. To be honest, I don't like to eat a lot. To be honest, so I don't cook. It's not nothing. I like to eat, but it's not. I don't know. I don't cook. I don't clean. I'm super spoiled. I feel sorry to tell you that. I am a little bit spoiled because I in Peru you have help in your house, and I was born with help. I raised my children in Peru with help, and when I moved to Mexico, my friends in Peru were afraid. What are you going to do without help? You have help, have had help for the entire of your life. How you're going to survive? But as soon as I came, the maid from across my floor knocked me. Do you need help? My sister wants to work. And I said, yes, thank you. Thanks God for this. So she's with me until now. And it was meant to be. I learned how to cook before coming to Mexico, lots of things. I said, I'm going to become a chef. I'm going to do. I of course clean the house, and I helped her a lot with breakfast. I prepare breakfast today. I clean, I wash everything, but I don't like to cook. And she helped me with that. But yes, you can, for the diplomats, especially the wives of ambassadors, they have lots of help here in Mexico, no? But I lived in Pittsburgh without maid also, and I survived, no? But here there's a lot of help, and you have to take care, because if you if you have never have help in your life and you come here, you have to know, because these people are poor, some can steal you. I have had lots of experience throughout my life, no? You have to have everything like locked, no? You have to be careful if you have never have helped. For me, something I have been raised with, I have all my life, no? But when I have lived in when I did my master's in Pittsburgh, I survived, no? Everybody survives without help. But for example, now that my children are going to move because they are university, and one is going in 1 or 2 more years to university, and I'm going to go with my husband. Maybe I'm going to start working if it's possible. I'm going to do everything in the house, no, for my next move, probably. And I know how to do everything, but I didn't have the chance to do it a lot. Thanks God.
Well, welcome to the club. I grew up too, Judith, with household help, so I know exactly how you feel. And the only concession to COVID, as soon as we could, was bring the cleaner Conchita from Mexico, actually, to come back. So I understand how you feel. So with that, we have already reached 1 minute past our hour. So I will like to thank you, and I will ask Sarah to wrap up our conversation. Thank you for your generosity. Your email is there, so anybody who wants to contact Judith, please do. So Sarah, over to you.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you, Judith, for such an in-depth and informative session. Personally, I love Mexico City. It's one of my favorite cities. And I don't speak any Spanish except for my shoe size, 38. So that was something that I learned quickly what I needed. But it is one of, believe me, my favorite cities. And I would go there again and again and again if I could. It's it's good to learn about the city from you, having lived there. with your family, experiencing the everyday routine. And of course, now since the routine has changed because of COVID, but it seems like a really fun and vibrant place to be living. And hopefully, once the situation gets better, I'm sure most of us would like to visit or even move for that matter to such a rich city with a country with such delicious food, beautiful, lovely colors, and you know, to experience something different. You're very right about having the right attitude, and you know, having a positive attitude comes a long way. It helps you settle. It helps you adjust in whatever situation you are in, be it good or bad or challenging, but we all, you know, come out of it then. So, no, I really wanted to thank you for your time, and thank you to all those who listened in, joined in. I'm sure you're all ready to make the move as soon as possible and join Judith, of course, who will be there to help us settle down. So thank you very much. And I would like to also remind our members that we have another fun, informative session, country visit next week as well, next Thursday. I believe it's Singapore. Yes,
Hopefully.
Yvonne, it is close to your heart. So please join us then as well. Another fun day for us to sit in our house and be able to visit a new place. So thank you very much for joining.
I know one Spanish word too, rebaja. That's the first one I got.
Rebaja
It's
is
got to
like
do with
sale.
the shoes and the sale. So you get
Sale,
where we are going. Okay. So thank you again, and we look forward
You
to
should have mentioned Cinco de Mayo, la batalla de Puebla.
Exactly. Yes, I didn't know that. I didn't recall, but yes, you're right.
El Día de los Muertos.
Thank you.
Fascinating.
Yeah, Dia de los Muertos is amazing. That's what I mentioned as a. I sent like a presentation, Kat. If if you want to share it, feel free to do it. Okay.
I was planning to send to everyone the call. So
Okay,
I believe
perfect.
Carla is doing the attendance, so I can send to everyone. I will. Thank you so much, Judith.
Thank you for having me. And sorry if I don't connect because it's 7:15 a.m. my time. And really, I will try my best some other day, okay?
Fantastic. No, it was lovely seeing you, and thank you for your time. Thank you.